what we're playing. Don't worry, we'll point out any fuck-ups in public. It's very kind of you, Dwadist. Okay, so what we should be doing here is we should be getting into... let's get into game cam. This is currently what it looks like. So, in case you can't tell, which I'm not surprised by... whoops, that is not what that's supposed to be called. Hang on. So there are a bunch of things I need to do that I didn't really have time to do properly, but we'll just roll with the punches here, shall we? So our first game of the day in EuroBowl is a game between the Polish coach Warrior1980 and the German coach DocMaxx. The Polish coach will be running Norse, whereas the German coach is going to be running Slann, which, if you've watched me play a lot of Blood Bowl, it's not available in any of the Cyanide versions. Of course, it's agile, weak-ass frogs versus, well... a bunch of humans with block, basically. So let's go over the teams here quickly, shall we? Hopefully this will work out properly while the players are setting it up. So on the left-hand side here, the Norse team, we have a Snow Troll. Skullcracker has, well, Loner, Claws, Disturbing Presence, Frenzy, Wild Animal as every Snow Troll, and of course Guard as a picked skill. The Ulfwerner number 2 also has a Guard as a picked skill, and both of these pieces are marked with red bases, so you know that they have guards. The second Ulfwerner has block and is marked with a red base. I will be able to paint on the stream at some point, but not right now because I haven't had time to set it up. In the meantime, both the Norse Berserkers have grabbed Tackle, so that's going to be scary for those teams that are running Dodge. So Blodge, not Blodge, but Block Tackle on the Berserkers, and that's right. I'm missing one of the players. So let me update the roster real quickly here. So that's slightly embarrassing for me. Let me find my roster list. Okay. I have Martin who's helping me out, and he just told me something, and I did not hear what it was. But I'm sure I'm sure it was important. Let's see here. So there is, of course, a Norse runner with 7337 runner. That has sure hands, so let's add that to the pitch. And unfortunately, it seems like our players are a lot quicker at this than I am currently. But those are the Norse players at the moment. Let's go over to the Slann team that's currently setting up. I assume that that's not right. I'm sorry about that. Let me fix that. Because it's using the wrong roster. So let's have that use the right roster instead. And hopefully everything will be a lot smoother from here on out. Let's go to the right team instead. There we go. So Slann, the Frogmen are running... 2 blitzers with diving, tackle, jump up, leap, very long legs. That's their normal starting skills. And then both of them have wrestle as their improvement. Then we have 4 catchers. One of them, they all have diving, catch, leap, very long legs. But of course they're weak with only strength 2. One of them, the red one, has guard. And the other 3 with the yellow markings have dodge. Which I apparently have not had time to put in on this roster here. And finally, 2 of the linemen, the 6338 leap, very long legs, have blue, which is block. So let's get that off the pitch and see what we've got going on here. Martin, do we... let's see. Can we see where the red catcher and the blue lineman are? Because
at the north side.
the north.
No, at the Slann side.
Yeah. on the Slann side, because currently I can only see 2 of the yellow catchers with the dodge catchers with the yellow base. So
maybe we have to have another better.
Yeah, let's see.
Teams as well.
Yeah.
You don't see the.
I don't see the blue and the red. So if we can,
I'll check.
yeah. It's so good having someone to just boss about. So we are at the starting stages here, and like I said earlier, this is the first match of the day. I slept horribly, by the way, but we're gonna try and make do with what we have here. The NAF symbol, in case you didn't know, in the bottom left corner is the is the bowl. So that's what people are running towards. Oh, okay, so they're trying to put them on now. There we go. So that's good to know. So that's the white swapping, the red swapping out for white there, and blue swapping out for red. Okay, yeah. So that's definitely a lot more visible. Martin comes in and saves the day. So everyone that has a red marking, which are still kind of hard to see, but we'll work on that as the day progresses, has at this point, let's see, dodge probably. And the white marker, I would assume then, is block and blue, but I'm going to get Martin to come back and confirm that. And we'll see how things goes. Like I said, we have one game this morning, and then after that we'll go for lunch, and then we'll be back in the afternoon, and hopefully by that time we'll have sorted out all of these issues. And I've woken up. Okay, Martin, so what's going on here?
So what's going on? We changed it to, so that the red guard piece now is white instead.
Yeah. Okay.
And the blue block piece is now.
Are they red?
Red.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so while this is happening, I'm going to see if I can do a quick update for you guys so you can actually see what's going on here. I'm sorry I'm not paying too much attention yet to the game. We are in the starting stages, so this is going to be interesting here. I'm going to find myself the overlay, and then I need to do a bit of a sneaky thing here, so we can have an easier time actually seeing what's going on. So I'm gonna turn on a little thing I've made. There we go, take a print screen, and then I'm gonna turn it back off again so you don't have to see it yet, and then we can update and add all those things to a lovely little list. So everything's oh right. Well, that's slightly annoying. I see what's going on here. I'm sorry, everyone. I should be paying attention to the game, and I will shortly. In the meantime, I'm just gonna fix things here so you have an easier time seeing what's going on, and then we'll be right in with the game. So what we should do is this. I'm going to do one of these. I'm sorry you can't see what's going on at the moment, but you will shortly. Don't worry. Oh, actually, you need to be over here. So these are always the most exciting things when you're like, I need to be doing other things, but then you just don't have time. Right, now I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm sorry, everyone. So what we see here. So then we have last but not least, we need to do this. And then we can finally get into the game, and I don't have to worry about you guys not being up to date with the skills. There we go. Okay, here we go. And there we go. Kind of. Now you can hopefully see what's going on. At least what the skills are. And let's get into this. We are still in the first turn, and it seems, well... Alright, it seems like the Norse team here are doing their very best to protect the ball. Slann, of course, is a... oh, right. I totally missed the fact that... I think that's important to point out. The Slann player has already had a casualty and a KO. Now, remember, neither of these players are playing with an apothecary. And the main reason for that, of course, is that this is a resurrection tournament. And a resurrection tournament means that your... basically, all your players come back in the next game, which, of course, is pretty important. But it also means that the apo is essentially only used if you need to. What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say if there's a piece you definitely want back on the pitch. And apparently, one of the dice fell out of the dice. Tower. We have a special dice camera, of course, to make sure that you guys can see what's going on, and it seems like the lumberjacks from the north manages to pick up the ball. So that's a good start, and that is the white piece. That is the Shorehands runner, 7337. Block Dauntless Shorehands. So that's a decent piece to hold on to the ball, especially against Slann, who are so weak. And if I remember correctly, the Slann player has not picked strip ball on any of his players, which is hardly surprising considering, well, there's not going to be too much blodge to deal with. I would argue most of the picks so far in the skill packages that you can pick have been the strong all-around good skills. It seems like it's Doc Martin's turn here. Oh, Slann fell over. Moving up towards the black piece on the Norse side, and that is one of the Ulf Werners. Manages to knock the Ulf Werner down. Let's see if they can make something of this. No, that's just a 6. So the Ulf Werner is not nothing more than a stun, but a stun is always nice. Thanks to Astral Dream for keeping up about telling me about the armor rolls and how good they are. Let's see what the Slann are doing next, because this is kind of, at least for me, watching someone play Slann, it's something, of course, I've watched some games on Fumble, but not that often, especially not in a setting like this. So I'm not entirely sure what the Slann offense is here. Do you just try and knock out all of the threatening pieces while you still have players on the board, or do you go and try and steal the ball? Now, almost all, if not everyone, everyone on the Slann team, of course, has leap, but with agility 3, it's a scary proposition. With agility 4, slightly less so. You succeed on a leap on a 3, but of course you don't have a reroll on that skill. And the Slann team are only running with, let's see, well, they're running with 3 rerolls. The Norse team are running with 2. So they do have some options here. And moving a stun piece, and that's the DocMaxx's turn. And it's back to Warrior. So the ball is quite secure at the moment. There aren't any, from what I can see, Slann players that are actually in base-to-base contact with Slann. So if they want to hurt someone, it's going to be a blitz. We're going to see what happens here. Standing players up, possibly moving the ball into cage, but there seems to be some die roll here. And that's a 6. For those that don't know, that's an official NAF die. So on the 6 side, there's a NAF badge instead, and that means the snow troll is allowed to move and does so. Oh, thank you. Gonna see what happens. Standing one of the Norse linemen up to stand around next to the snow troll, just to put some extra pressure on here in the front. There are 2 Slann pieces right here under the current game text, so I'll remove that shortly. So you can see that is one of the yellow bordered pieces, which, if I remember correctly, yeah, that's a dodge piece. Thursai says, I imagine the Slann gameplay is to move a mountain right on top of the opponent. There's service here. I just got myself some water. Thank you very much, Moomin. Okay. Let's see what happens next here. Of course, with no Slann players really in contact here, there isn't that much the Norse can do if they want to hurt Slann. Slann, of course, being pretty weak when it comes to armor value. But then again, so is Norse. In fact, the Slann team actually has a higher average of armor value than Norse. But they do have, all of their catchers are strength 2, so they're not going to block anyone too quickly, because, you know, strength 2. Marstipan says, the computer game has spoiled me. I have no idea what's going on the field. That is, you know what? Partly I feel the same way. This is, definitely know what's going on, but it's a lot easier when you're watching someone and you can actually hear what they're saying, and that's something as the game progresses, or as the games progress, I feel like this stream is probably going to evolve, and we'll make sure that it's easier to hear what's going on at all times. And let me see if I can at least do this. Okay. So I just turned on so we do have a microphone in the arena on our webcam, but it's quite loud because there are a lot of people playing here, so it's kind of hard to make out what anyone is saying. Give them something. Yeah, we're definitely going to work some more with making sure that the bases are covered and easy to tell what's going on. It's one of those cases where we need to make sure that everything is visible. But for those that don't know, the colored bases here are indicate skills. On the Slann hand side, of course, I have them up in the left hand side. So white base means guard, and yellow means dodge, and red means block, and that is specifically for the Slann team. And I think those that have red don't actually have them on their bases currently, but they have them on their players. And I'll make sure that in the next game I'll have it set up so I can actually paint on the screen, and hopefully it'll be easier to tell what's going on. So I should also point out, you know what? Let me set it up so that you can see on the left-hand side as well, because currently it's a bit of a clusterfuck at the moment. Wouldn't you agree? So I'm gonna make sure that is possible. I just have to do a little thing here. Let's add that, and then I need to do this so that I can, and then we'll turn that off for now, and then I'll add them straight away so you guys can see what's going on. Because it's super annoying not knowing what's happening. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna. Oh. Martin is moving things around here for me, which is very kind of him. So let me see here. Gonna make some more circles so it's easy for you guys to see what's going on, because that's probably very important. I mean, it is. Visibility is kind of half of this game. If you can't follow along, then what's even the point? So we're gonna do one of these. And what is our next skill on the Norse team? So red, in case you didn't know, because I've only said it once, red on the Norse team is guard. And the black base is currently block, which one of the Ulfwerner has. And then we'll see here. So for the next one, which is blue, which all of the... what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that blue, both of the Norse berserkers, they block frenzy jump up pieces, they have tackle, blue's tackle. And finally, white on the left hand side is sure hands, which the runner has. And now all I have to do is make some color bubbles, so that's easy to understand, which I'm trying to do everything at the same time, which it turns out it's a difficult proposition. Who knew? Who knew that would be the case? Yeah, so currently, because I can hear now, the snow troll is blocking... Nope, sorry, not the snow troll, but the lineman is blocking a Slann piece, and that's a surf. And because of course I wouldn't miss a surf. And here we go for the surf piece. That's a 7, so that goes straight into reserves. And for the... So 9. And that's a casualty for the other one. Another Slann out. But who knows? Maybe Slann can play with like 4 pieces. Maybe they don't need more. So here we go. So we're gonna... I've updated my overlay, hopefully, and we're going to get this right back here. There are a lot of people saying boom in the background, which I enjoy. Test overlay, so we're gonna I want Slann in the PC games just so you can lead constantly. I think there are a lot of people that want Slann. It's they're a fun team. Well, I mean, they seem fun. We'll soon find out. What's going on, Martin? Do you have some new information for me?
I don't know what you've seen from here, but there were a knockout and a casualty.
That's true. We did see that. There was a surf.
Yeah,
and a.
Yeah, and I could tell you also when the dice jumps out, they use the results anyway.
Okay, yeah.
So they will not re-roll that.
Yeah.
Those.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of important information because because we have a camera on the dice tower. So the dice tower is kind of short, so sometimes the dice jump out. If they land on the table, which they are to do, they are going to use the result, but they put them back in the dice tower so you guys can see what's going on. And now we should finally have upgraded our skills. There we go. So now you can hopefully see a bit more what's going on. And then I'll... that is correct. Warrior1980 is on the left side, playing Norse versus DocMaxx on the right-hand side. And Warrior has so far, other than having a thumb in the camera, has managed to remove at least 3 of the Slann pieces, 2 in the casualty box and 1 in the KO box. Julie was taken, is wondering about the sure hands. And I do think at this point, because Warrior has so few rerolls, he's only running 2, you don't want to waste those rerolls on something as trivial as picking up the ball. So in those cases, of course, sure hands really does make sense, considering Norse has almost no ball handling skills other than that. And it makes it a very dangerous piece. It's block dauntless sure hands, useful both on offense and on defense. Yeah, so the ball, we are playing with a ball coin, which means that the ball is currently, if I remember correctly, it's under the white sure hands piece on the bottom right hand side here. And now, okay, so here comes a blitz, I think. Yep, blitz with a Norse lineman on a Slann. Both dodge on the Slann, no block. So the Slann piece goes down because, of course, Norse has block on all of them. Unfortunately, that's just a 4, so no armor break today. Currently, it seems like the Warrior is pretty quick into moving the ball into his opponent's half, which kind of makes sense because, of course, with leap, while being a risky tactic, it does mean that if you keep the ball at the end of your own pitch, it's so much easier for the Slann to just steal it and score. But now that he's moving it down to the Slann's side, it's going to be slightly harder for them to move it quickly if they decide to go for a risky play here. But of course, these are experienced coaches, so I don't think any of them are thinking about doing something risky on turn 3 in the first half. I'm assuming Warrior is mostly looking for to knock out as many Slann as possible to make the rest of the game as easy as possible. Yeah, right ring, bottom right. If I said bottom left, I'm terribly mistaken. And that's a 4, but it's kind of out of the... there we go. So, DocMaxx, so service-minded, moving the dice back. That's good to know. But that's something we'll have to look at after this next game, Martin. We'll just
it at the moment?
No,
right
we don't need to fix it now, but we'll fix it after the next game and modify the dice tower some more, so that doesn't happen. Okay, so Warrior is moving. That is the friendliest, nicest snow troll I've ever seen. He's managed to move it so far. And this is now DocMaxx's turn 3, moving the Slann pieces away. Yeah, counting 4, 5, 6, 7. So it seems like he's just trying to, well, getting rid of some of the pieces. That is one of the. Let's see. That is one of the dodge Slann catches that just ran away. So I'm sure that's why he's okay with dodging away with them. They have agility 4, so they're pretty good at this kind of thing. It's another Slann piece running away. Oh, and here we go. Time for a Slann block. That did not go well. And that's the end of DocMaxx's turn. Will we get a panoramic view to see how much is going on? Unfortunately not. We don't have the cameras for it right now, but I will be posting some pictures on Twitter. We can actually, you know what we can do since Martin is here. Martin, do you mind going out and taking a picture of the crowd with
sure.
that? And
The whole venue?
Yeah, the whole venue, and we'll put it on Twitter, and then we can link it in chat. So everyone can see what's going on.
If you didn't get it, the red little piece at the top is actually pouring rain.
Oh, that is very important. So the red piece on top is pouring rain, which means that the fact that the Norse runner has sure hands is even more important. I think they're now discussing this. There was some. Oh, they were discussing where the piece actually was in what square. There's TV difference isn't actually that high. It's the Norse have they are at 1220, whereas the Slann are at 1270. Now this is a different format, so I don't think inducements are actually involved, but I need to double check that. Basically, when you have different options for building your team, and depending on what tier your team is in. So if it's a higher tier team, so a team that's considered better, they'll get less skills or less to give their players improvements. Whereas a team, for example, like Slann, which is not considered a high tier team, they have something more to pick. But I need to double check that because, like I said, I slept really badly this Friday, and we just got most of things done in the 2 hours before game start. And this is one of those events where you're not going to be like, okay, everything on the stream is not yet done. Can you please wait? That's not happening. These guys are here to play first and foremost, and we're here to see if we can cast it as well as possible. And that's more. Thank you very much. That is another Slann that's stunned. Let's get some tweets out, shall we? So you guys can see what's going on. And let's. Oh, you took a lot of good pictures. Hang on. So let me. Nope, that's not what I want. So currently the Norse are still in a, well, they're holding on to the ball and they are probably not going to let it go, at least not this half. This, it's looking pretty grim for Slann, but I kind of expected DocMaxx to know that when he got matched up against a Norse team. We'll see. Fastbinder says Slann should be immune to pouring rain. I agree. Okay, and here we go. And that is... Yeah, so for once, the Snow Troll did actually not move. That's a 1, and that's an angry snow troll that's not going anywhere due to wild animal. I need to learn how to spell EuroBowl if I'm going to tweet about it. I hope there is real Nuffled sacrifices after each game. I think that is the only game these... I'm not saying that's how England has won several Eurobowls in a row. I'm just floating the idea that that might be the case. Because as far as I know, England won the last one in 2014 and the one before that in 2013. Yeah. Bisley 11 points out that there are no SPP and injuries on Resurrect games. Yeah, so these guys, it doesn't matter who gets the SPP because they're not going to level up after this game. So you never have to worry or think about who do I need to give this touchdown to make sure I have a better outcome later on in the matches. These guys are over 2 days. They're going to be playing 6 games, whereas this is the first one. 1 in the morning, then lunch, and then 2 in the afternoon, and then we have 3 more in on Sunday. It seems most Slann sit in the cash box with movement 0. That's it's starting to look like that, doesn't it? Oh, something very exciting is happening out somewhere else in the arena. Like I said, I have the audio on from the arena, so I can hear a bit about what our coaches are saying, and there was just a big chant going on. Yeah, there's some singing going on in the background, but hopefully it shouldn't be affecting our coaches. Holy crap! I want to be out in the actual hall playing Blood Bowl now, because that sounds intense. And that's a 6 into 1 reload. Reload, reroll. That's the Slann dodging around here. And turn 5 for Warrior here. He's in a pretty safe position, I would argue. I kind of want to hear Coach banter. Yes, I'm gonna see if I can get some audio onto stream here, so you just don't have my my alluring voice going over this. I just have to figure out the audio settings, and you guys should be aware that you can't really hear too much because there are a lot of noise in the background. Yes, each coach comes from a different country. Yesterday, they started out with the raffle, but to see what nation is playing what. And Germany is playing Poland at the moment. I know that Sweden are playing the stand-in team called the Vikings, because if you have an uneven number of nations, of course, then someone's going to be without someone to play. So normally in these types of events, there's a extra team just of extra players. So every nation always has someone else to play against. A pitch invasion, maybe? Yeah, that could have been what's happening on some of the other tables here. I did tweet a picture recently. Let me see if it's actually been uploaded. And then I can post it in Twitch chat as well, since I sent Martin out to take a picture, and you can actually see how many coaches are here playing Blood Bowl. It's there's actually quite a big. There are a lot of people here, basically. If you check that out, you can see both our head table on the big stage, and also the timer, of course, on top. DocMaxx just told the Warrior you can't win if you don't suffer, which I guess is a good mentality to have if you're playing the Slann. Wiz Martin or some other Martin? It's not Wiz. Wiz is, I'm sure, busy having a lovely weekend after having released Stellaris Leviathans. So I'm not going to force him to come here and help me stream Blood Bowl. Yeah, so currently the ball is in the bottom right-hand corner, looking very safe and secure. I'm not sure there's that much Slann can do at this very moment, but I'm sure we'll find out shortly. Mostly the Slann players are, well, not on the pitch. So that's a leap out. And a blitz onto the Norse lineman. Let's see what they get. And that's a wasteful POW. Both a defender stumbles and a POW. The Slann is following up, and that's a 6. I mean, that's an 8. That's good enough. That, however, is a 6, which is just a stun, unfortunately, and the stun marker comes out. Wow, Wobs, you are up early if you're from North Carolina. So the the Slann blitzer keeps running down. The Slann blitzers, by the way, the white pieces, we haven't. I don't think I've mentioned it, and it's not on the skills, but those pieces do have wrestle. So we're going to see what happens. And another POW. It seems like Slann has at least decided to, we can't do anything about the ball. Let's just try and knock down these pesky Norse linemen instead. I mean, there aren't that many around the ball, but they do still have, let's see, how many? 5 pieces on the pitch. That's not a lot of Slann. Oh, wob. I don't know if that's a good thing, being stuck on an army biological clock or not. Let's see. Is there anything else the Slann can do at this moment? Of course, once they come back, Martin, yep. Do you mind going down and pushing down the players in the reserve KO and cast boxes so they're closer to the edge so we can all see them?
Yes.
Yeah, closer to the turn counter. Yeah. Norse linemen are really annoying. I can understand he wants to get rid of them. Yes. Oh. Something amazing is happening in the out in the arena again. Let's see here. Yeah, they're hang on. Yeah, I think I just realized how we're gonna get ourselves some audio in here, guys. Hopefully, let's see. So we've got ourselves another blitz here. And it's... Yep. Sorry about that. That was, I'm sure, super loud for a second. Hopefully you have some audio now in the background. It's pretty bad, but please let me know if you want it to be slightly louder or not. Now there should at least be some of the background audio going on here. So, yeah, I'm terribly sorry about the ear bleeding. Hopefully it got lowered quickly enough. But yeah, that's kind of, this is essentially what I'm experiencing in my headphones currently. So I mean, it's a question of what the Norse team wants to do right now. They have definitely secured the ball, but maybe they're in a position where they need to branch out and actually be more aggressive towards the Slann that are still on the pitch. As we can see, they've already knocked out 5 pieces. Actually, they've knocked out 6 because one was surfed and then put into reserves. So there should only be 5 Slann pieces on the board at the moment, which it turns out that there are. And in case you've forgotten, the ball is in the very bottom right corner behind the snow troll that has one of the red bases. So, but still, I mean, this is of course is important for Poland here. They want to, the Warrior definitely, of course, wants to secure a win. So you don't want to risk it too late, especially since it's pouring rain, which means that if they actually drop the ball, it might be harder for them to pick it up. So you want to make sure that there is no chance for the Slann team to actually grab this ball. And that is probably why they're being so aggressive. Rather the opposite, non-aggressive towards some of the Slann pieces. There is, as far as I understand it, there is no time limit for each turn. However, there is a time limit for the game itself, which I think is about 2.5 hours. Martin.
If there are really slow players, they will do some chess clock thing.
Yeah, that's true. If someone is, if someone's too slow towards the end of the game, a chess clock will be put out and they will start playing on a timer. But since these are, for the most part, experienced tabletop Blood Bowl coaches, most of them should be able to deal with the time limit. Martin has been kind enough to print out the rules, which I should have been smart enough and did as well, and actually read them twice. Yeah, so the tournament format is... let's go over the tournament format because I've got this here. Yeah. 2.5 hours for each game. That's the allocated time. But the tournament consists of 6 rounds. Teams are paired up by Swiss draw in round 2 to 6. In the first round, draw are made randomly. Teams are randomly paired up with a team from the group they're in. And individual matchups are decided randomly in the first round. And then each individual victory gives the team 1 point, and each individual draw gives them half a point. Team loss is not a you don't lose points, but you also don't gain any points. And in the case of tiebreakers in table standings, we first look at the sum of the opponent's sort by sum of opponent's points, and then we go to touchdown net score, and then after that casualty, and then finally, if everything is still tied, we do Rövkrok, which is a Swedish traditional duel, which I've never done, so I'm just going to assume that it's very traditional. And it seems like the Slann has actually managed to blitz themselves out of harm's way here before being marked by one of the Norse pieces and almost frenzied. And now still putting some pressure on with the one blitzer here that's still around, which is good for Slann. Ooh, this water was carbonated. Very fancy. Is it possible to get a weather indicator on the screen? So there is one. It's just hard to tell what it is. So the red pip marker next to the dice box area is actually indicate what the weather is. But of course, you guys can't read what the weather is. We'll look into finding some place where we can put that, because of course pouring rain is actually kind of important. So that's a good suggestion, and we'll see if we can fix it. Isn't traditional Swedish to see who can build a bigger ship before it sinks? No, traditional Swedish would be to build a really big ship and be like, you know what, this ship needs more cannons. And then someone going, what if it sinks? Nah, more cannons. And then it sinks. That's traditional. So we are here. This is turn 7 for the Norse team, and with DocMaxx moving that one Slann blitzer up a bit, it does mean that there is a threat to the ball, and this turn 7 Warrior does not want to score here, wants to hold out, but at the same time needs to be able to make sure that the Slann, even how unlikely that he's not going to be able to threaten and possibly knock the ball out of the hands of the Norse runner, because then essentially all of his hard work, well, not all of it, because there are still three Slann in the casualty box. And of course the Slann, let me find the roster here and I'll tell you. The Slann, or DocMaxx, only brought 12 frogs to EuroBowl. So regardless of what happens with the KO results or the KO boxes, there's not going to be a full Slann team in the second half. But of course, Slann, they're pretty fast, they have leap, so they should be able to score quickly. And since this is a resurrection tournament where pieces come back good as new for each game, just being one touchdown up in the first half is good, but it definitely doesn't mean that you've already won the game. I need to turn off the sound on my phone. So there's a lot of things going on at the moment. Managed to knock down one of the other white-based Slann pieces, which would be the guard Slann catcher, only strength 2, which is why there were 3 dice on the block, but still on the pitch. And of course a guard catcher with agility 4 and leap is great if you desperately need to do a last turn blitz to try and save the half, being able to get some guard in there. It does so much, but it's I don't think it's possible now. Well, I mean, it is in theory possible if we can do some counting here. So that's 1, 2, 3. In theory, the downed Slann catcher with the guard here, the white rimmed based red piece at the bottom right, could dodge, leap, GFI all the way to give assists for a block, but it's you know what, that's probably not happening. It's a lot of dice to roll, And it's time for DocMaxx with the Slann team here for turn 7. We'll see. I think that's the blitz. And that worked. That's a 6. 1, 2, 3. Here comes... That did not work. Reroll is being used. That did not work either. So that was a dodging into a tackle zone with a agility 3-piece, which should be a 4+ roll. And wow, that is some deadly grass. And that is a badly hurt. Of some kind. Because it's resurrection, it rarely matters. And that's turn 8, and Warrior just runs the runner into the end zone, and that is a touchdown, which means DocMaxx has 2 attempts to get his 2 KO pieces back. Unfortunately, there are 4 pieces in the reserve box. The first one did not come out. The second one did, though. So I think it's the other blitzer that is currently in the KO box. But one more attempt. Yeah, 5-1 would be a minus that. That's probably true. See, that's the nice thing about resurrection. We don't have to care too much. So we'll see what the game plan here is. Of course, it's only 1 turn unless we get something amazing on the kickoff table. So I'm gonna find myself my rule book. I don't have it up. Which, it's a classic mistake. Another mistake, man. So let's have a look here at the kickoff table. Scroll. Okay, so setting up here, not putting all of the pieces back to defend the line, kind of realizing that the Slann are probably not going to be able to get there, especially with so few players, and their fastest player being the catchers with movement 7. They have to push it very hard. So instead, DocMaxx is just going to put everything on the line. Moomin, oh, thank you very much. Moomin came in and gave me a new mouse pad, which doesn't have the ergonomic like wrist cushion, which I, as a pro gamer, can't deal with. Here we go. So that means. Okay, so here we got the blocks, and that's at least a PAL, and another reminder that we need to fix the fix the dice over there. The kickoff event it went by quickly, but I'm pretty sure it was a one that resulted in an extra reroll for Warrior. I wonder, will the bigger models of the relaunch make streams like this easier to follow? I don't necessarily think so, mainly because me and Martin talked a bit about this yesterday, and the issue is normally that if you want something to be easy, easy to see what's actually going on, you want a kind of basic model, right? And the Blood Bowl models are more opposite, cool looking, because of course they're cool. And the other guy comes back from the KO box. So you'd have to have very basic models that are easy to differentiate, but that is not going to look as good if you're a player. So it's one of those things where the difference between the stream experience and the experience of being there in person is probably different. And of course, having bigger players means you also need a slightly bigger board, which means we'll have to zoom out even more. So we'll be at the same place anyways. But we'll definitely look into making sure that we have some proper rubber bands so it's easy to see what's going on in the future. Both Warrior and DocMaxx was actually at their table about 20-15 minutes before the game started, and it was just me being, shit, the stream needs to get up. That meant we couldn't go through all the things and make it as easy to understand what the piece of war is possible. So let's make a quick recap for those that joined lately. On the left-hand side, we have Warriors Norse team. They all have names, but I'm like, I can't fit this in. So that is not the correct one either. That is the Slann team. So that's annoying. Don't tell me I got. Ugh. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? Yeah, so that should be that. Oh, I see what's going on here. My bad. I'm sorry, everyone. What we need to do is this. Should also turn that off so you don't have to watch it anymore. But that is the correct setup for the Norse team. So since they're taking a quick break, I'm gonna be able to do some things. The right roster, thank you very much. And the colors. Yeah, if you can adjust it, that'd be great, Martin. Thank you. And let's have a look here. This is very much me doing things essentially on the fly when you point them out, or me being like, oh, this is not good enough. Okay, so once again, someone's really happy about something, and that's Martin testing the dice tower there, making sure everything works out. There you go. Mm-hmm. Someone's very happy here in the background. That's nice to hear. Let's do this. Okay.
We didn't see the dice at when they were at extreme end. And if you, I noticed that you counted the dice even if they jump out. Yeah. If you do that, it's very fine. Okay, please put them in. You have to show them for the camera. Yeah. Okay, we'll do it.
Martin coming up and telling people what they need to do. Power player Martin. Should always have a Martin around. Makes life a lot easier. There we go. These are the current proper stat lines. And it seems like we are about ready to go here for the second half. Of course, the Slann being down 1. Well, now the dice tower is slightly crooked. But you know what we can do? We can do We can at least move it over slightly for now, so it's more in the middle. There we go, and that's the 4-4, which is straightforward. We'll see. We'll see if that's what the Slann wants or not. A 3. So we have a riot, which means the trash talk between two opposing players explode and rapidly degenerate. On a 1-3, both teams' turn marker move forward, which is because it's the first turn. They should be. They should just go forward. So that means Slann has. Well, there's only 7 turns left, and the ball lands right behind the Slann LOS line, and that's unfortunately for the Slann team just a push, but it's better than nothing. And here we have another block and another push. That is not necessarily what you want, but it does give the well, there's a guard catcher there in the middle, and there is one. So we'll see what they want to do here. They can, if they want to, do a 1-die block on the snow troll, but that seems a bit scary. Probably put the white Slann catcher with guard in the middle there, because of course the snow troll itself also has guard. Meaning if they wanted to be able to block pieces, they had to do some work. It's okay, and that's a 6. And a blitz after the leap, and that's good. Nope, and that's a faulty push. That's pointed out by the Warrior, and DocMaxx fixes it straight away. Of course, DocMaxx don't want his blitzer to be next to the snow troll, and if you can help it, and that's unfortunate. That is a knockdown, but it's just a 3, and that's a follow-up. And now all of a sudden, there are enough pieces to get a 2-die block on the snow troll, and the snow troll goes down. Ooh, and not pushing him back, pushing him to the side. And now there are a lot of Slann players around the snow troll. That's an 8. And fixing some things here. Are they going to foul? We'll have to find out. There are some pieces that have yet to move, but even if the catcher manages to pick the ball up here, which it should, because agility 4, of course, is that enough to protect the ball? And it seems like they are not going to foul the ball carrier, or not the ball carrier, the snow troll. Instead, they're running in with the Slann piece pickup. And that's a 2. That is not good enough in rain. I think so. Yeah, so not going to re-roll the pickup, but instead letting it scatter, and that's a 4, and that is a catch. Normally, of course, a scatter is a 3+ if you're agility 4. It's in the rain, so it's harder, but 4 just picks it up. I think the issue there with, of course, you could have fouled the snow troll, but if you did, there'd be so many Slann on the line that you wouldn't, that DocMaxx wouldn't be able to have a secure cage. Because, I mean, the Slann can move quickly with leap, but the Norse team aren't any slouches either. They can move just as fast with their 7 movement runner, and the rest of the team, for most of the part, has movement 6, so they can get over there. But it's definitely a tricky situation, and these first few turns, as we saw in the first half, the turns once Warrior had actually secured the ball, those turns went a lot quicker because there wasn't that much to do. But currently, of course, there are so many options. I'm going to turn on the current game here for those of you who don't know what teams we're playing or for what coaches and what nations they represent. It's I think it's the Norse. It should, if my understanding is correct, the Norse turn has just started. So Warrior's debating what to do here. Basing the putting an extra person on the catcher there. Of course, the catchers are only strength 2, so just getting an assist there to remove the assist from the blitzer standing next should be good enough. Running the, let's see, that's the blue piece. That's one of the tackle berserkers moving forward to base the one of the Slann linemen. I think it's also important to point out at this point here that Warrior has named all of his players, whereas DocMaxx has not done so, which in my experience from playing tabletop Blood Bowl is that if you name your players, they're better, but they die more often. so take that what you will. Normally when I played tabletop, I usually didn't name my players until they got a skill, at which point I deemed them worthy of having a name. But we'll see here how this goes. So far, the Norse team have performed really well. Even though they have low armor, they haven't been blocked that much, but the pieces that have been blocked have not ended up in the injury box. So, guys, if you let me know what you think about the crowd noise. I know that it's kind of loud, but let me know if you need it louder or if you're okay with the current level of noise. I realize it's kind of hard to hear anything. Okay, so that's a reroll into a 4, and that works. I think that was a GFI, and that's a POW. That's unfortunate. That was the ball carrying catch. Sure. Oh no, that's a no. Good. I was slightly confused because of course these guys pushed them first and then put them down on the floor, and I'm like, a push? That wasn't a push. So not a stun, no armor break there, and the ball scatter. It's in a position that's hard to reach for the Norse, and they don't have a tackle zone on it, which means that the Slann can probably pick it up, and they do have that, well, the catcher on the left-hand side that's kind of being surrounded by Norse linemen at the moment. It's probably going to have a rough time getting out. Let me do a quick count here and see how many squares they need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so, wait. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so currently there is no Slann catcher in scoring position. And they've cleared out the red piece, which is one of the Ulf runners with guard. So they have a decently clear path. The Snowtrot did not stand up. Yeah, I can't hear the I can't hear the coaches very well either. Oh, that's a 12. Let's see what Okay. And that's one of the blue pieces. That is one of the tackle pieces, which is actually kind of important for the Slann team to get rid of, because they do have the yellow-based catchers and they will have dodge. And another POW here from the Slann team, getting rid of these Norse, or knocking these Norse pieces down. Unfortunately, that's a 5, and that is not good enough. And also wasting a double 6, and then on a double 6 on an Ulfwerner? No, I'm sorry, on a Berserker? You only need an 8 to do that, and then a 10. You don't need to waste 4 6s in a row here. Time to try and pick the ball up. That is not a pickup. Reroll used for a... And another 2, and that's a scatter. That is very unfortunate for the Slann. I was going to say pouring rain really favoring the Norse team here, but of course, realistically, the Norse team are going to have an even harder time trying to pick it up. Okay, there's some very excited people in the background here. Okay, see if the Snowtroll wants to stand up. Yes, Snowtroll does want to stand up. That's, of course, very unfortunate for the Slann team. But that's always the case when a big guy activates. You're like, ugh, why is this happening right now? No, the scatter was definitely not terrible. I mean, in a sense, the further back it scatters for the Slann team, of course, it's kind of... the better it is, because it's harder for the Norse team to reach it. But they do have the freed black ring piece at the top, which is it's actually a block Ulfwerner, which is not someone you want to have frenzy or strength 2 catchers. So if okay, here we go. So that's Warrior moving his pieces forward to stand next to that Slann lineman there. This is turning out into an intriguing half. In the first half, Warrior had a pretty commanding... He controlled the game really well, and unfortunately DocMaxx couldn't really do much, suffering that many injuries pretty early on, and then it just kept happening. Right now, of course, 4 players in the injury box, and starting with 12 means that there are only 8 on the pitch. But they still have a slight threat here. They're not out of it. They're, of course, it's not looking good, and I'm sure DocMaxx would have wanted to pick that ball up if he could have. But it's one of those could be worse kind of deals. Here comes the blitz. Yeah. And that's with the guard from the other Ulfwerner and strength 4. Okay, knocking the piece down, and that's a 7. That's not enough. And that is not what DocMaxx, the Slann coach, wants, of course. There are now 2 tackle zones on the ball, making it even harder to pick it up. Normally, his catcher picks it up on a 3+ because they have agility 4 and it's pouring rain. Now it's a 5+, which is essentially not happening. So maybe we'll see a blitz on the top Norse line. I really need to get the setup with me being able to paint on the pitch up after during lunch after this game. It's going to happen. It's there. I just didn't have time to set it up this morning when we had to put everything in here. There was a lot of running back and forth and figuring out. Yeah, Smoko, we are aware of the difficulty of identifying some of the pieces. and we're working on it. Rest assured, we kind of feel the same way. We want to make sure that it's as easy as possible to understand what's going on, and that's always going to be a challenge. There is a separate mic for the ambient sound, and it's most definitely clipping. It's I'm not using a proper microphone for that. I'm using the webcam microphone we're using for the dice tower, so it's horrible quality to begin with. But I've added it because at least there's some ambient horrible noise in the background and just not me droning on and on and on. But please let me know if it's too loud or if you want me to lower it. But it's one of those cases that's kind of how that audio is going to be this tournament. As you may have seen from my tweet, let's see if I can link it again here. There are a lot of people in this one room playing Blood Bowl right now, so the audio levels are always going to be quite high. DocMaxx making sure that there is a scoring threat in the back. It gives a feeling of an in a role-playing game. Well, I think that's good, Sniper. Moving the guard catcher back here, and a blitz. Oh no, okay, here's the blitz. I was very confused for a second. And needed a 3, got a 5. So 2, 4, 5. Yeah, so 7 movement to get over there, and that's a 1 on the GFI. Are we going to see a reroll? Yes, we are. And that's a snake eye. That's really unfortunate for DocMaxx. That's 2 turns in a row now, I think, where or 2 attempts where he's used rerolls and they just haven't worked out. And it's been rerolls for things that should be pretty easy to do. The first one was a the first one was a 3+, this one was a 2+, and the dice were like, you know what? No. Okay.
Next time.
Trying to move the troll. Didn't work. If I understood that correctly, which I hopefully did. Okay, so turning all of the pieces back. Now, if you don't play tabletop that much, normally what you do when you move the piece, you turn that piece around to indicate that you've moved that piece that turn. So that's why you sometimes see the coaches turn their pieces around, just to indicate that piece has done things this turn. And so those of us that are more lazy just play 1 turn with the pieces facing the front, turning them around, and the next turn playing with them facing the back, and then turning them back to the front when you're done with them. I don't know if DocMaxx not re-rolling to pick up the 3+ while in the middle of a cage was a misplay as such. It's definitely come back to bite him in the ass, but at the same time, the other 2 pickups that happened where he used rerolls were just as easy, and both of them failed. So it's one of those cases where if the dice don't want to do the things you need them to do, then you're kind of screwed regardless of what you try and do. Still 1 reroll left though, and with a scoring threat in the back, at this point it's essentially DocMaxx grabbing the ball, getting that pass, or at least not being knocked down, so you can transfer the ball on the next turn. And this is still a tie. At some point, Warrior might need to have to try and pick this ball up, and that's a 5 on the armor roll. Here's the last block, possibly, and that guy should be going down. And he does. And that's an 11 on the armor roll, and that's a 7. So that's just a stun. If you're looking for a website to find events like these in EU or in the US for that matter, I would recommend checking out the NAF, which is the Blood Bowl player. Is it the player organization? It's the main Blood Bowl organization for organizing all of these kind of things. And if you're playing in NAF connected tournaments, you actually get a coach ranking, so you're ranked compared to other coaches in the world as well. I wonder if the Blood Bowl tabletop community would know what crendoring it or cKnooring threat means. Well, I don't say cKnooring threat, that's everyone else. I still say scoring threat. I will give you that most people probably don't know what crendoring it is. But I also think that's because most coaches playing tabletop don't have that problem, because you always have to move your turn counter. You can see the turn counter on the like the wooden board on the pitch with 1 to 8. That is the turn counter, and you need to move that at the start of your turn. So it's a lot harder to forget that you're on turn 8 in tabletop. Okay, so that is not what the Slann want to see. That is that's a runner holding the ball that the Slanner is supposed to be holding. That's just all wrong and messed up and turned around. That's not how that's supposed to work. Okay, and here comes the blitz. That's a leap. Here comes the leap. That's a 6. That's a good enough leap. And that's the guard catcher. And another dodge. This is not the blitz. So slowly but surely. Ooh. And here comes a go for it to make it. And that's a 1. It's apparently the 2+ rolls that are the hardest for MacDocs. Okay, so DocMaxx is trying to figure out where to blitz. It seems like he's going to blitz with the last of the catchers. It's a 2+. That's a 6.
2+.
And another 2+. That's a 2.
4, 5, 6, 2 dice on the ball.
4, 5. Yeah, 2 dice on the ball, and that's a POW. That is okay. So maybe there is some light shining through the rainy clouds here for DocMaxx. That's unfortunately not a stun, and a 6. Let's see where that lands. Then it's on the Ulf Werner is where it's at.
No, 6+.
And yeah, so they're currently counting whether the Ulf Werner can pick it up, and he does not, and that's a 5. And that is probably not where DocMaxx wanted it, and he's forced to run his scoring threat back. At least there's currently 1 dodge Slann catcher on the ball here. But that can probably pretty easily be cleared off. So that is... Yeah, so Warrior just asked if I push someone into the ball, there's no chance of a ball catch, and that's correct. If you push someone onto the ball, they will not get a chance to catch the ball. Instead, it will just scatter from that position. Okay, so unfortunately, our dice tower is covering up the scatter template. if I recall correctly. Let me have a look. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to see, but basically you roll a d1, a 1d8, and then, of course, there are 8 squares around the... let's turn the dice tower back on, because we're going to roll some dice. And then, depending on what you rolled on d8, that's where the scatter goes. So it's usually the top row is 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is to the left, 5 is to the right, 6 is bottom left, and so on. And that's a 6. That is not an armor break. And that was kind of important, because that means that the Old Foreigner can now, without risk, do the block on the dodge catcher. Otherwise, the dodge catcher, it would have been a slight frenzy trap in that it would have been a 1 die. So I guess the good thing this half, if you want to talk about good things for DocMaxx, is that the no casualties so far. All of the injuries happened in the first half, and we're halfway through the second half now, and all of I say all, but the 8 Slann that started this drive are still on the pitch. Here comes the blitz from the Black Ulfurner, which of course has block. Electing here to... Oh, it's about electing to push everyone away from the ball rather than trying to push someone onto the ball to get another scatter, which probably makes sense. There's no real need for a warrior to get a scatter. They're just fine with making sure that the Slann can't do anything about it, especially now that they are out of rerolls. Okay, moving some stuff around. It's one thing I've realized with tabletop Blood Bowl is that people have a lot of indicators for different things, which is nice. When I played mainly tabletop, we didn't have the ball coin, which means you actually had to have a small Blood Bowl ball, and you put it on the base of whoever was holding it, which was good, but you kind of always lost the Blood Bowl balls because they were so tiny. So you'd have to use like other things, like that soft air gun bullets and stuff like that. Anything that was round and ball-like. You're like, okay, we'll use this. Okay, and here we go. Some more blocking here from the warrior side. Trying his very best to get rid of those pesky Slann pieces. Armor roll, still not good. That's just a 6.
This transfer, I guess.
Yeah, so...
No. He didn't reach this. Okay. So that...
So they're...
that's three, right? Yeah.
So they're discussing whether the snow troll had moved or not. The die. What do you mean the die? Well, I guess yes. The dice log itself is missing. That's a 5. And there are there's no percent for each action. That's true. That's something we haven't managed to do on the fly yet. They did get rid of the concede button. It's I mean, I think you still can, but it's a lot harder to do now. So we're gonna see what happens here. Okay. And that's a pickup, and that's to go for it. And here comes the touchdown attempt. That's a 3. That's good. That's apparently how you do touchdowns. So that's 2-0 for Warriors Norse team against DocMaxx's Old Dirty Froggas. Not too unexpected just looking at the matchup itself, but of course I think DocMaxx was really hurt by the first half. Well, first of all, the pouring rain turned out to hurt him more than it hurt Warrior, but also the fact that there are four Slann pieces in the injury box, and there's only one in the Norse injury box, while it should also be pointed out that Warrior actually has 13 players, so he still has a full team, whereas Warrior has, well, I mean, DocMaxx has a lot less. I think we all kind of rooted for the German guy just because you don't see Slann that often. And I was like, maybe Slann's amazing. Maybe I missed something. But then, and I think they can be. In this case, the injuries early on really hurt. And I think that was a smart move by Warrior to make sure that they got the first. They got the offense on the first drive to thin out the herd, as it were. Seems like this time around, DocMaxx is going to push really hard onto what we consider the top side, or for him the right-hand side. Another short kick here from Warrior side. That's a 10, which is going to be a blitz. And Team Scotland apparently just broke one of the shares in for one of their coaches. Moomin just came on with like, yay! Held up a broken share and shouted Team Scotland. So, yeah, share breakers. Rowdy people. Team Scotland are the ones running around with kilts, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so all of Team Scotland has kilts on, which kind of tells you about the... and that's, to make matters worse here for DocMaxx, the blitz and the kick being on the bottom part rather than the top means that there aren't enough players to actually protect the ball here. It's still pouring rain, but that means that the Norse team with the Warrior actually has a shot at scoring again this half if he manages to pick the ball up and run it in. That is that's not what you want. And that's a push from the Slann team. No, it's not.
You can roll, but no. You have 3, 4, 5. I have 2. Okay, it's already enough. So.
Right. Wait.
Trying to move the train? Nope. No moving this. Yes. Over 2. Yeah.
I
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's still pouring rain. Still pouring rain. Blitz. 2-0.
I'm okay. That
You suffered quite severely from the early casualties. And I haven't picked up a ball. The only time I got the ball was...
Yeah, so Martin is talking to DocMaxx here.
And then fumbles to the catcher, and he's got it, but then we look at him and... No. Go for it, double runs. Good. And now this. Bounce the ball, please. Yep.
Yeah, now the ball bounces. And that's 8. That is the one good that's the one good roll on the scatter dice that DocMaxx could have done anything with.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So here's the all or nothing, and that's a 2. Okay, so that's a yeah. So here comes. I think there's going to be a pass here. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a fumble on the pass. 1. That's okay. That's pretty horrible, but it could have been a lot worse. Actually, could it have been worse? Yeah, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. It could have been a fumble on the pickup, so it was even closer to the Slann's end zone. But other than that, not much. It couldn't have been much worse. It's actually I'm speaking of the Scottish team. I am really impressed with the fact that they're wearing kilts, because here in Örebro it's freaking cold for whatever reason. When I got here at midnight, I got out of the ball and I started shivering uncontrollably. But it seems like it's time for a blitz with the with one of the Ulfverners. That is the block Ulfverner. Let's see if we're going to get a surf or a pow. We're going to get... Yes. Yes. And now the punish. It's... That was actually the punish. Oh, that was so close. That was... I mean, that's how surfs happen, right? But holy crap, that surf almost didn't happen because of the punish on not selecting the POW. Wow, wow, wow. And that's a KO on the injury. So we have even less players on the pitch now. I didn't realize that I could influence the game in such a way that just by pointing out the punish and then having it almost show up, or pointing out that all of the Slann were still on the pitch. Yeah, that's all me. That has nothing to do with the coaches. Oh, that's almost... Okay, so that is unfortunate for DocMaxx, and kind of shows how how decent Norse are early on, especially if they show up against a team that's not going to block them as much. Okay, so the ball is pretty... Oh, here we go. Pick up. Let's see. So the Norse player needed a 4 there for the pickup because it's still in pouring rain. With sure hands, roll the 5. I don't think I've ever seen a Slann team that starts with a Crocs, but then again, I haven't seen that many Slann teams either. I would assume it's similar to the Wood Elves not starting with a tree, because you need so many you need so many of the good pieces, and the big guys aren't necessarily that. Also, Slann are, for the most part, kind of expensive. Like both of the blitzers, the 7338 blitzers with diving tackle, jump up, leap, very long legs, cost 130k each. So very expensive and squishy players makes Slann tricky to play for the most part, especially if they're all knocked out. And another scrum here up in the top middle of the pitch means that it's going to be even harder for the Slann to go anywhere because they are out of rerolls. And, well, that's an armor break, but that's a 5, so that's just a stun. A Slann lineman costs 60k. And they have a stat line of 6, 3, 3, 8, leap, very long legs. Long legs, of course, means you get +1 on your leap skill, meaning they're actually even better at leaping than most. But yeah, it's still a lot of money for no block. That's true. Okay, and here the Slann pieces are trying to extract some type of revenge here. We'll see if they're able to. No, they're not. That's a 5. Okay, so a blitz here with a blitzer, trying to at least mark the ball carrier, and that is good. That's a POW, knocking that player down, and that's a 9. There is no player on the Norse team that has a 9, and that's a 9 again, out in the KO box with you. And here's a going for it to base the ball carrier, and for once it actually works. Amazing. And so I think that's a leap. That worked out fine. That's 6, and of course the Slann catcher has 7. So now there are 2 pieces on the ball carrier, and we don't know what that was, but I'm gonna assume that it worked out fine because DocMaxx is still moving. And moving forward to make sure that at least there's someone in the back that could possibly score, because this is, of course, his second to last turn. Is Halfling still the underdog team in tabletop? Yes. They are slightly better because it's easier to play with inducements compared to the Blood Bowl Chaos Edition. So, Warriors turn 7. He's still holding on to the ball. There are 2 pieces on the ball carrier. They could possibly be frenzied off, but that is going to cost him some extra movement to do that. It's by using the Ulf Werner here at the bottom. For example, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is possible. I am not going to be playing. I'm just going to be sitting here and not do anything. That, however, with that move, it's actually even easier to do the frenzy clear here. Smart move by the warrior, and that's a push. No, that's a actual POW apparently. It's kind of hard to tell. But that freed up the runner. That's a 9 and a 6. So that's a stun. And it seems like, yeah, so Warrior ran it in and gets, it's now 3-0. DocMaxx has had some unfortunate rolls, and the Warrior has been in the position to capitalize, which is good for him. Nicely played. That's a 5, so the KO'd piece comes back for the Norse team. That's a 6, so the KO'd piece comes back for Slann as well. We clearly have some Polish supporters in chat. Very hyped about the 3-0 versus Slann here. Yeah. Yeah, they're setting up, and seems like we do have some pieces watching, and they're talking to people around. This is we have, I think, is it? Yeah. So round one will last until 12:30 local time. We're currently at 11:48. So there is still 42 minutes to go if you need that. But surely there are some coaches that have already finished these games. And our game here that we're streaming is on a stage, so it's probably the one that's the easiest to just go and be like, you know what, I'm going to watch this. And that's, I think that's on the... Okay, so a 9, that's a quick snap. Everyone gets to move. Let's see if they can actually... They do have... No, they don't. They have one turn. Is there any way they can actually do this? Remember, these guys have leap, so they can get in position on the other side to push people around if they need to / want to. But it's a really difficult push. And I'm not sure they can make it. Then again, I am bad at doing the one-turn pushes. Touchdowns are worth something in the rankings if there is a tie. So every team gets 1 point for a win, half a point for a tie. And then it's Swiss style what team you're playing next. So, of course, the national teams have, I think it's 6 or 7 coaches each, and they play another national team. And then you get points. Depending on how many points you get, you go up and down in the rankings. If there's a tie, you look at touchdown difference. No, you look at points first, so wins versus ties. Then you look at touchdown difference. So it does make a difference. It's just kind of unlikely to come up, but I guess we'll see that as the day progresses. And, yeah, so doesn't look like DocMaxx is going for any type of one-turn push here, because I don't think it's possible currently. And of course, there's no reason to do a vanity pass. There's no reason to do a foul because this is a resurrection tournament. So they just don't do anything, I would assume. Well, they. Casualty net score actually does matter. So I said TD difference, and that's not. It's the net score that matters. Some more touchdowns. So getting some casualties might actually be good. But that's a skull, and that means that the Slann have played their last turn, and now Warrior has one attempt to do something. Yeah, let's see if we can get them in here. Sure, or yeah, ask them. Actually, let's see if let's go out and ask them and see who wants to come in. We can see if we can just have a quick word with the coaches. I'm gonna try and get the one or two of the coaches in here so we can have a chat. I only have one microphone, so we might have to be slightly louder than normal, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. And that seems to be the end of the game. 3-0 to the Warriors, so congratulations to him. Unfortunate play from DocMaxx there, we're not being able to pick up the ball, but in the end, it you know what? It kind of worked out. I'm gonna take these off because I only hear game audio. Oh, that's not nice looking. Let me fix that. I don't want that to be the same. There we go. Hopefully he gets 1 honorary point for playing Slann. Yeah. I'll be right back, you guys. We'll see if we can get to talk to someone. Let's see if we can. We only have 1 microphone, so let's see if we can make it 1 at a time. Yeah, so let's do that. Warrior, since you won, come in here. Yep. We'll scooch this over. So you need to lean in so they can hear you into the microphone. Okay. So playing against Slann, was that what you expected for EuroBowl?
Our captain came to me before the game. Mm-hmm. He told me what to do. I did what he told me. It worked.
So he was like 3-0. Make sure that DocMaxx rolls badly on the pickups. Make sure it's raining.
Yeah. Mad Dogs. DocMaxx had some bad rolls, I think, in some important points of the game.
Yeah. But. I was just going to say, I know that you said before, congratulations to the win. Well played. Well, good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, thank you.
Except, of course, if you're playing Sweden, in which case, please let's.
Okay, I would like to thank to my opponent. Mm-hmm. I would like to thank to my family, and wish a good luck to my son Pavel, who is playing his second chess tournament right now. Oh. And he's 6 years old.
Very nice. Yeah. Good luck to Pavel. Thank you for playing on stream for us.
Thank you very much.
DocMaxx, come in here. Whoops. Let us weep together.
Yeah.
So slippery fingers.
Yeah.
So how come you decide to bring Slann to the EuroBowl?
Yeah, I think no one in the world has 3 times a third of amount of Slann games. I have over 100 Slann games on the NAF, and it's my safest game.
Okay, yeah. So just looking at, compared to Norse, what went right, what went wrong?
Yeah, there was the crucial point at the game. He the first 2 rolls of his armor, and then was 2 guys down, and then there was the point where I said, well, yeah, that's it. I bring the guard to the ball, and then I make a 1 on the leap in, and I have 2 guys on the side.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that there is a tackle guy, and I dodged with a dodger out because I think 2+ reroll was the point. And then but that's the turnover, and that was the problem. If that turn goes right, I couldn't turn the game around early, and then I have a fight a uphill battle.
Yeah.
And he had very, very good field position in the first half of the match. I think in the 8th turn I got the opportunity to blitz the ball with a good, decent chance on the 3-4, 3-4-3, and then 2 dice with wrestle, two dice against with wrestle, but yeah.
I mean, sometimes the dice just doesn't go your way.
That's Blood Bowl.
Exactly, that's Blood Bowl. So you've got 5 games left.
Yeah.
Anything you want to play against? Anything you'd rather not play against?
I like to play against Lizardman.
Yeah.
Lizardman, that's cool.
Okay, well, like I said to Warrior, good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
As long as you're not playing against Sweden, in which case, please lose. But we're gonna go and have lunch. Well, we're having lunch in half an hour. I'm probably gonna go look at some of the games that haven't finished yet because I haven't been out there.
Yeah.
I've just been listening to the audio, and there's been a lot of shouting and screaming, and I want to take part in that. So, for you guys watching on stream, we will be back later. I'm going to be here tinkering with some stuff. So if you have any questions, let me know. But until then, see you guys next game, which should be in 2 o'clock. So that's actually in 2 hours. Thank you so much for playing on stream.
Yeah, thanks.